Simi, I'm so pleased to announce you as the winner of this year's Africa Education Medal.
Thank you so much. I did not expect that. I didn't. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. Thank you. I really, oh my goodness. I'm speechless. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Many congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to you, Vikas. Thank you to T4. Thank you to HP.
Congratulations to Simi Nwogugu on winning the Africa Education Medal 2023. Her work is empowering the next generation of the African continent, and there are so many who will be inspired by her. The Africa Education Medal brings together change makers who are making a difference in the continent, and I know that Simi's work is going to be a supreme example of what needs to happen and change in the African continent, and so many will follow in her footsteps. Once again, congratulations, Simi.
Well, Simi, my question was going to be, how does it feel to be named as the winner of the Africa Education Medal?
Oh my, it's still sinking in. It feels great. I think it brings a lot of, validation to the work that we do at JA across Africa. When you do entrepreneurship education, not many people believe that that is education. And so to get an Africa Education Medal really validates the work that we do in empowering young people. I'm so grateful and honored to you, to T4, to HP, to Microsoft for this acknowledgement. I'm looking forward to working with the 9 other shortlisted candidates. I read about them, and I'm very excited to be in the same category with them. And I'm really grateful for the hard work of the teams of the member nations across Africa, who really dedicate their time and energy for very little pay to empower young people across Africa. So this is really for them and not for me. So I'm hoping that this brings a lot of publicity to the work that they do across the continent. So thank you.
Well, many congratulations to you. Simi, perhaps you can tell people about, how do you see the medal helping you expand your mission and work further?
Okay. Definitely. So I think the first thing it does, it just really highlights what JA does globally and especially in Africa. Junior Achievement really focuses on empowering young people to develop the mindset and skill sets to build thriving communities. We particularly focus on underserved youth and giving them that skill set to be able to become change agents in their communities, to build businesses that create jobs and create wealth in their communities, and to really empower them to continue their education as well. And not just education for education's sake, but education that's skill-based, skills that can lead to employment. And so I believe that this gives us a platform to work with T4, to work with HP and Microsoft, to really increase particularly digital skills that are required for future jobs, and to also just empower young people for entrepreneurship, and to bring that message out to more partners. I know that since we were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, I've seen how humongous that impact was in terms of elevating us in Africa. So I'm hoping and I believe that this will also elevate us even further to get those partnerships, particularly with governments, to increase access to our programs in schools across Africa.
Well, Simi, what do you think is actually needed to change education in Africa? I mean, I know that you have a focus on entrepreneurship education, but given just the scale of the challenge, it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts as to, well, how do we bring change?
Yes. So, in Africa, we graduate, or move 11 million young people into the workforce annually. And we create only 3 million new jobs. So that's about 8 million young people who, are adding to the unemployment market every year. And you hear stories of, people trying to cross, oceans to get to the other side and dying. You get, stories of crime increasing. And really, this is as a result of young people who are trying to make a living. They're trying to find dignified work. If they can't find it in their countries, they try to migrate to other countries. And so what we do at Junior Achievement is really to empower young people to really create, not just to look for jobs, but to create jobs, to get the skills necessary. So like I mentioned before, it's not just education for education's sake, but education that empowers you with the skills to find work, dignified work. And there are so many opportunities where you have many countries across the world that are aging, and Africa has a very young population. And so why can't we be the HR suppliers to the world, where we have skilled young people who can access remote work anywhere in the world from their living room in Kinshasa or in Lagos or in Accra. And so that's what we believe education should be, education that actually empowers them to find jobs anywhere in the world, empowers them to create their own opportunities by starting businesses and creating wealth, change their communities, empower them to fight climate change, fight extreme poverty. These are the things we focus on, real practical solutions to real world problems. And I think that's what education should be, particularly in Africa.
This is as much a personal prize as it is an organizational prize. The Africa Education Medal is to mark your leadership, your impact, your advocacy. What is your one piece of advice to those who'd like to follow your footsteps?
It's really to, first of all, believe in themselves. This is what we teach all our young people. Self-efficacy is really the theory of change for junior achievement across the world. And so my first thing is to really say, if you believe that you can do it, then you can. And so my thing is, for anyone who wants to go into the field of education, social entrepreneurship, leadership of any kind, the first, I teach emotional intelligence in most of our boot camps. And the first thing I teach is self-awareness as part of emotional intelligence. What are the things you're good at? What are the things that you're interested in? And what does the world need? And so when you find that, I call it your happy place, or I think the Japanese call it Kaizen, where what you're interested in and what you're good at, and it is also what the world needs, that is where you need to sharpen your knowledge, your interest, develop yourself, and be able to become a leader in that field. Let people come to you for solutions in that area where you are empowered because you're passionate about it. And it relates to anything, not just education. It relates to life, it relates to health, it relates to community building. And so if you are a social entrepreneur and you believe that you can make a change in health and you're interested in it, by all means, you can. Just educate yourself, develop yourself, and find mentors that can support you in doing that. That's what we teach at Junior Achievement, and it's what I teach young people who call me to say, I want to start an NGO. Where do I start? I need to look for money. No, before you look for money, figure out what is that critical place where something is needed in the world and you are able to provide it and you're interested in providing it, and then find mentors who can support you in developing that skill set.
Simi, what is your message to those that are on the front lines of education, such as teachers?
So where the world is going, and I do talk to teachers quite a bit in my line of work, and I tell them, you are not able to have all the information necessary in the world to educate your students. So technology is your friend. I spoke to a group of teachers in Rwanda recently, and I was talking to them about ChatGPT. And there are a lot of schools where it's being banned and things like that. And I say embrace technology, embrace how can ChatGPT help you become a better teacher? Like when you are planning your lesson plans, do you go to ChatGPT and ask it to help you develop a lesson plan and then, revise it until it's perfect? Just embrace technology as a teaching tool. Embrace it as a tool that helps you even become more aware of new technologies that are being used, and even understanding that your role is no longer the expert on stage, but the guide by the side. So it's really just understanding that you are helping your students learn how to think. You're helping them learn how to educate themselves. And as technology improves one-on-one personal education, don't make yourself irrelevant by fighting it. And so my one advice for teachers is continue learning yourself, because things will always be new. You will never become the expert, and technology is the best way to do that.
Simi, thank you so much for everything that you do.